Okay, it is 11 a.m. Mountain Time, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us for the May entry in our ongoing Data Exchange webinar series. This month's is titled Lights Out Operation, Automated Monitoring Strategies from Data Exchange, and we are going to be discussing how a lot of the features inside of SciTech Data Exchange can help manufacturers out with their automated processes as well as lights out manufacturing. So first up, as usual, we are always going to be going over the order of events before the webinar starts. And this webinar is going to detail saved charts and reports, as well as scheduled charts, reports, and the newly released scheduled RTV views. We are also going to be discussing Data Exchange chart URL links to share with other Data Exchange users, as well as collaborative robot monitoring, notifications and expressions, CNC Machine Connect, and specifically the post-check module, as well as the other modules inside of Vericut and how they can help out manufacturers who are using automated processes. And we are finally going to be going over the notion of remote production monitoring with Data Exchange dashboards and custom commands and material level monitoring inside of SciTech Data Exchange machine monitoring. So, with the notion of automation, we'd also like to invite you out to come and stop by the Minitab booth. For those of you that are unaware, SciTech was acquired by Minitab Statistical Processing Control Software earlier this January. We are going to be at the Automate trade show in Chicago at McCormick Place, June 22nd to the 25th in booth 10,064 in the North Building. So if you're going to be going to Automate, please stop by and see how SciTech fits into the new overall Minitab ecosystem of manufacturing products. So the first thing that we are going to be discussing for this morning's webinar is the saved and scheduled charts and reports that can be found in SciTech Data Exchange machine monitoring. One of the most useful features of the Data Exchange machine monitoring platform is the ability to save and schedule your Data Exchange manufacturing charts and reports. Chart filtering options allow for a report or a chart to be saved and run with set properties, filters, and options with just a single click. Saved charts and reports are useful for historical metrics that need to be viewed regularly and quickly without repeatedly filtering the necessary equipment and time frames. Saved charts and reports can be shared with other Data Exchange users and user groups. Saved charts can be sent to others via a URL as well for a direct web link to the selected chart. Encrypted credentials are included in the URL, so no Data Exchange login is required to view the chart using a link. Only one chart will be viewable per URL, and Excel exports can also be saved as well in Data Exchange. So where are your saved chart options located? If you look over on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see at the very bottom of the equipment status summary chart, outlined there with that blue box, you have your save chart option. So after you've gone in and done all the filtering for the machines, the time frame, the different plans that you are looking for information on, at the very bottom, you can see your save chart option so that you can save that chart so that you will not have to continually do all that filtering to access the same necessary information. You can give your saved chart a title, a description, as well as user assignments, so who that chart gets saved for, as well as the user groups. And the same process applies for the reports function as well inside of your data display Launchpad reports. So if you see in that screenshot over in the bottom right-hand corner, we have where these saved charts and reports will populate once you save them and you've done all the filtering. Now, let's say, for example, you would want to take one of these saved charts and send it to somebody. You can do that with the Save Chart URL option, and saved charts can be sent to other employees or stakeholders with the ability to copy a URL. I discussed this in a couple of slides ago, but a good use case for this is that you can send somebody an equipment status summary chart in Data Exchange by clicking the Save Chart URL and pasting it into an email if they are off-site or for stakeholders that need reporting on the production metrics. So Next up, I'm going to be discussing the scheduled charts and reports, which is kind of the follow-up feature to the saved charts and reports featured in SciTech DataXchange machine monitoring. So after saving a chart or report in DataXchange, users can have that chart or report sent to them regularly on a recurring basis. When you click on the Save Chart or Report, you will notice that there are more options towards the bottom of the page. Here's where you will schedule your charts and reports. And if you look over on the right-hand side, you can see that you have a bunch of options. First, you need to enable the status so that the scheduled chart or report will then be sent. And then you can choose the recipients based off of users, user groups, or you can have it sent to yourself. And then you can choose how often, where it's daily, or you can select specific days and at what time zone, as well as the resolution for these scheduled charts and reports. So some good use cases for these scheduled charts and reports is that, first off, I'd like to discuss the value of them. And scheduled charts and reports are useful for DataXchange clients as they can automate production insights so that stakeholders and employee can receive the necessary production metrics on a regular basis. With scheduled charts and reports, DataXchange users can have their production metrics sent to themselves, or as well as necessary DataXchange users and user groups before they walk into production meetings or Gemba walks. So let's say you're going to do a 7:30 a.m. production meeting. The scheduled charts and reports feature in DataXchange can hit your mailbox with the intended chart or report that you need so that you can go into your Gemba walk or production meeting well informed about the previous time frames production metrics. And DataXchange users can also share an RTV view, copy an RTV view, and schedule an RTV view as well now with a recent DataXchange update. And in last month's webinar, which you can find on YouTube, we discussed the newly designed RTV Designer. And you will need to contact SciTech for getting this new feature activated, as the RTV Designer is still in its beta form. But if you contact SciTech support, we will get that turned on for you in your data display account, and then we will gladly walk you through the design process. So once you have created a new RTV dashboard screen, you can share that with other people. You can copy the URL, and then you can also schedule that RTV view so that it can be sent to you on a recurring basis, the same way that you can have your charts and reports sent to you. Next up, we are going to be discussing cobot monitoring. In DataXchange, machine monitoring can monitor collaborative robots as well as CNC machines and fabrication equipment and equipment sensors and a host of other useful manufacturing equipment. So connections to robots can be had over wireless or wired Ethernet without the need for additional expensive hardware solutions. DataXchange uses the Modbus TCP protocol for monitoring cobots. If you're unfamiliar with Modbus TCP, it is a very old, probably 50 years protocol that is used in manufacturing as well as tons of other IT-related instances. And with the full power of DataXchange, robots can be integrated into the same monitoring solution that can be used for all of your shop floor equipment, from CNC machines, fabrication equipment, and assembly, as well as legacy and manual machines. In manufacturing, unattended automation loses value when raw material runs out unexpectedly. DataXchange machine monitoring can tell if a cobot is waiting for the machine it is assisting, if a machine is waiting for the cobot, if a cobot is waiting for material, or if one of the devices has an alarm or fault. Having data at this level provides the information needed to identify hidden issues and optimize the processes to ensure production runs as smoothly as possible. With DataXchange, manufacturers can monitor robot cells in real time through dashboards, mobile devices, and also receive automated alerts. By tracking material levels and cycle time, DataXchange helps teams predict depletion times, improve scheduling, and prevent costly machine downtime with instant Microsoft Teams text and email notifications. Next up, we are going to be discussing the DataXchange notifications and expressions and how that can help out with your automated manufacturing processes and if you're running lights out operations as well. DataXchange has a robust notification feature set that can alert users of important shop floor events via email, text, and Microsoft Teams. These notifications are user configured to send based on your shop floor and equipment's needs. And this is achieved by the expressions in DataXchange that we will be discussing in the next few slides. The ODI, Operator Data Interface tablet, also has the ability for visual notifications with its ability to flash once a certain threshold has been crossed. So a good use case for this ODI flashing tenant is after X amount of time that you determine that a machine is not running a part, your ODI-enabled tablet will start to flash to alert an operator to attend to that machine via its equipment card that's on the left-hand side of the ODI user interface. So another good use case for notifications inside of SiteTech DataXchange is when a machine is running in a lights out operation and experiences alarm, you can receive a notification of that issue and then go check to see your RTV alarm dashboard view, which was one of the dashboards that we discussed last month's webinar, and get a description of the alarm, its code, duration, and how many times it has transpired, as well as some other useful info. The notification feature set inside of SiteTech DataXchange is endlessly configurable, and DataXchange comes standard with many messaging templates ready to go, and you can also design your own as well. And if you contact SiteTech support, we will help you kind of draft out those messaging templates. Next up, we are going to be discussing expressions. And expressions are the secret sauce for DataXchange and one of the features that set DataXchange apart from more rudimentary machine monitoring platforms. And I want you guys to think of expressions in DataXchange like they are rules that you set for your own definitions of how data is collected and then exposed properly for solving your own specific shop floor issues. So, for example, when you have your collected machine data, should small equipment stops such as tool changes be tracked as in cycle or as machine downtime? What about a warm-up cycle? Should that be classified as in cycle or a planned downtime and thusly excluded from your utilization calculation? What I just described above is this can all be done in DataXchange via the expression feature set. Expression building historically was found in the desktop version of DataXchange, and it is going to be one of many features that, if not already, it is going to be included in Data Display, which is our browser-based and mobile-based reporting tool side of DataXchange. So at the very bottom, to kind of give you an idea of how expressions work, I have a screenshot from the desktop configuration application. And the way that you build expressions is by, using math operator. So we'll say machine A has been in a downtime greater than 30 minutes. You will then get a notification via Microsoft Teams, text, or email based off of your needs. So the next big tenet for expression use is how DataXchange users and user groups are notified about their shop floor events. This can be especially useful in automated and lights out production environments. So a good use case of this should be notifications be triggered if a machine is running in a feed rate override for too long. With expressions, you decide what that threshold is and who should be notified within your own production facility. Questions like these are subjective for what, when, and how you are producing, and they are solved with the flexibility provided by the DataXchange machine monitoring platform and its expression features. The purpose of your collected data doesn't change, just the way that you can use it. During DataXchange client onboarding, SiteTech will walk you through the expression building process. And once again, feel free to reach out to SiteTech support at any time for your specific needs, and we will help you build out these expressions. Your options are unlimited with DataXchange expressions for receiving alerts about production processes like when. So here's some good use cases that you can use the notifications and expressions so that you can get notified when a job is finished, getting notified about low material levels, which we will be discussing again later, machine downtime, and more. As I said, everything in SiteTech DataXchange is 100% user defined, and everything in SiteTech DataXchange is endlessly configurable. There's also a notion of escalation tactics with the expressions found in SiteTech DataXchange. With the ability to send users and user groups notifications about shop floor events with your expressions, this enables a useful tenet of escalations. So a good use case for escalations, and you can set rules or a rule or rules that after a half hour of machine downtime, an operator gets a notification in either text, Microsoft Teams, or email, alerting that operator to go out and attend to that machine. Let's say after an hour of machine downtime, then with the expressions, you can then alert a supervisor. And then at the end of a shift of machine downtime, a manager could be notified, and so on and so forth. You could also alert maintenance after a certain machine alarm or issue happens. Next up, we will be discussing material level monitoring as well as custom commands. And a custom command is simply a string that can be used in an expression. If the data is received through an input device such as an ODI-enabled tablet and it matches the string in the expression, the result for the expression will execute. Custom commands can be used with the ODI screen or a barcode scanner to trigger expressions. The expression can be set up to trigger functionality such as executing an email or turning on a stack light, as well as requesting material for when it is running low. As we wind down our webinar, I'm going to be discussing some of the automation provisions from CNC Machine Connect. And specifically, the automation strategy that I'm going to be singling out is the post-check capability, which is part of the Digital Twin Improvement Integration CNC Machine Connect, which is the integration between DataXchange and Vericut. If you're unfamiliar with Vericut, it's very widely used in aerospace manufacturing, and it's a software for digital twins. PostCheck is one of 3 different modules inside of CNC Machine Connect, and PostCheck is an investigative tool that allows you to review archived data directly from the NC machine within a Vericut simulation to observe how well the machine ran, as well as inspect and diagnose any issues that occurred during machining of a specific part. So if you look at that screenshot, a time frame is selected within the PostCheck module inside the Vericut user interface that will then replay the production events. So a good use case of this is you're running a lights out operation. You come in the following morning to find a finished part that is out of tolerance. You can replay the production process inside of Vericut to pinpoint what, when, and where things went wrong. There are 2 other modules inside of CNC Machine Connect, which include pre-check that ensures that what is set up on the machine matches what is inside the Vericut digital twin simulation. And the other one that I'd really like to focus on here, especially in terms of automation and lights out processes, are the CNC machine monitoring module. And I want you guys to think of this as a live streaming production process that can be had inside of the Vericut CNC Machine Connect integration between Vericut and DataXchange. And what this does is it live streams the production process, which I mentioned, but it's also useful for lights out manufacturing to glean insight into production processes as they are going on in real time, to see what is going on when maybe you're off site, or let's say there's a bunch of coolant that is blowing all over the windows of a CNC machine. You can see past those and see what is actually going on inside of the CNC machine with CNC machine monitoring, which is one of 3 different modules inside of the Vericut integration CNC Machine Connect with DataXchange. So some other highlights for this integration. And we have a specific webinar that you can view on YouTube with Vericut specialists that go over more of these kind of automation and highlighted strategies that you can use with this integration. But some of them that I'd like to go over here real quick are: you can read machine setup information such as NC programs, subprograms, access locations, work offsets, and tooling to compare with Vericut's machine configuration. You can read machine parameters to improve Vericut's digital twin machine, identify differences between machine variables, parameters, and settings, and update the Vericut simulation to verify that these values produce the intended result. You can also investigate potential issues that may have caused parts to be out of specification, as well as review any modifications to the NC program, subroutines, feed rates, spindle speeds, and more. And then finally, the last two highlights of CNC Machine Connect I'd like to go over are identifying and reviewing any errors or problems that resulted in overrides or emergency stops, as well as comparing life cycle times to Vericut's predicted run times. And then finally, to end this morning's webinar, I'd like to discuss the whole notion of remote production monitoring that you can have in SciTech DataXchange. And with DataXchange manufacturing charts and dashboards, there are many useful ways to be able to monitor all of your production processes remotely on PCs, tablets, televisions, smartphones, and more with the DataXchange dashboards. There are clients who use DataXchange of ours who are monitoring multiple different production facilities in different locations, who are producing different parts for different clients, all remotely. They can be notified of job completions via any of the notification methods that we discussed earlier and see what is transpiring real time with the equipment view dashboard that you've seen here. If you'd like any more information about the SciTech DataXchange dashboards, you can consult our YouTube channel where we have specific webinars about this kind of stuff, and then also reach out to us at scitech.com for a demonstration of this. And the way that everybody in your facility can monitor anything that is going on in your facility, running lights out operations or not, is via our SciTech DataXchange applications, which we have for free on the Apple App Store as well as the Google Play Store for remote monitoring your production processes. You can also download the mobile applications inside of your data display account or on your DX landing page, which has links to all of them. So that about wraps it up for this morning's webinar. As usual, I always like to point out our SciTech University website, which can be found at dxhelp.scitech.com. We have a breakdown of everything DataXchange related via a user manual with frequently asked questions sections, as well as tutorials, how specific roles such as operators, machinists, etc., can use DataXchange to help with their job duties, as well as even specific scenarios about how DataXchange machine monitoring fits into your production processes. And then finally,